I've made a mistake. Hello everyone, today we are back to work on number 3. Finally, we have a bunch of suspension parts that we are going to be throwing on today, and hopefully by the end of this video, it will be sitting on its own weight. Quite a bit of people asked when we were getting back to work on number 3. It did get set on the back burner longer than I expected and longer than I wanted. When we last worked on this car, we had just finished the fabrication and welding portion, getting the new crossmember and shock towers installed. Taking on Project J was fun and a huge learning experience, but it was not the best move for the stable. The stable did take a big hit financially, but the lessons learned from that project are invaluable. But what can you do? You live and you learn, and boy did I learn. Anyway, before I forget, we're doing another draw on the Odelphi headlamp giveaway, so stay tuned for that. Enough yapping though, let's get to work on number 3. So like I said, number 3 should be holding its own weight by the end of this video, and to do so, we're gonna install all these suspension bits. We got the upper control arms, lower control arms, spindles, coilovers, and I'm super excited for these coilovers, by the way. And this is only a fraction of all the parts that are included in this kit. I have a full unboxing video on my channel if anybody is interested. So let's get started. So these control arms don't look to be side specific, but if you notice where the ball joint points down, there is little teeth on this side that I assume are used to grip onto this shock tower. So using the provided T-bolts. So with the control arm roughly mounted, we can see how much adjustment we have here. We have quite a bit of adjustment for the camber as well as the caster. So if you remember the last time we worked on this car, we didn't lay a full bead of weld on these shock towers because I wanted to bolt on all the suspension components first and make sure our wheel was center where we need it to be. So once again, we're going to bolt on all the suspension components and make sure our wheel is centered, make sure that all our measurements were right. And once we make sure the wheel is centered, we're gonna remove some of these suspension components so we could put a full bead of weld around these shock towers. So the instructions say to torque these down to 85 foot-pounds, but we're not going to do that because once again we're going to have to remove all of these components again. Okay, so we got the upper on. Let's go ahead and do the lower. Before we get too far in the install, we have to remove this torsion bar, but this sway bar is also connected to this bracket. See, the smart thing would have been to remove it when all the suspension components were still on there, but now the nut is seized. We no longer need that torsion bar or those brackets. But since I didn't already do that, we're gonna take a different approach. So for the first time in my life, I had a cutting disc explode on me, and of course the camera wasn't shooting. But I'm lucky enough I was wearing the protective gear. None of the pieces hit me, but that is the first time one has exploded on me. Alright, so both of the torsion bars are now off along with the brackets or pieces of the brackets. Definitely not the cleanest way to remove them, but me and the angle grinder are best friends. So unlike the upper control arms, the lower control arms are side specific, where you want this sway bar bracket facing towards the front of the car. We get our big bolt in. We're gonna give it some love taps with the mallet. And we're through. Instructions say to torque these down to 70 to 110 foot-pounds, but since we don't have the weight of the engine on here, we're just gonna snugly tighten them down because once again, we're just checking for our wheel fitment. Alrighty, both control arms are now in. Alright, now for the part that I'm very excited for, the coilovers. Once again, we went with some QA1 coilovers. They are single adjustable. And then the spring rate for the spring is about 350 pounds, I believe. If anybody is wondering why I'm sitting on the ground, my rolling stool lost 2 of its wheels a couple days ago. Okay, so the instructions recommend to put anti-seize on these threads, but I'm gonna end up removing most of this anyway, so I'm not going to do that yet. So this spacer right here looks like it's gonna be a pretty tight fit. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that tight, Okay, so I've made a small mistake. So the coilover out of the box has this spacer in it, and the supplied control arm bolt does not fit through, but in the box of the coilover is this other spacer, which works with the supplied control arm bolt, but I don't have the right snap ring tool to remove this. All right, 1 day and $14 later, we now have the right tools. What? Oh God. Did they break already? This can't be. Am I just using these wrong? What is it? Okay, $50 later and 1 less ounce of patience. We have a new set of snap ring pliers. No, this is not sponsored, I wish. There's a little compartment here with the clear glass with nothing in it. All right, whatever. Okay, let's see what we got here. There we go. Yes. Who knew all it took was some good quality tools. Oops. One of the little pins broke. Oh. Right when I said good quality tools.
Good quality tools.
You can see one of the teeth broke off of it. Let's see if this one breaks too. What is the deal here? Am I using these wrong? Am I an idiot? What is it? Okay, so back to it. Okay, so we got the pin out. You can see the size difference right here for the bolt holes. This one doesn't fit. This one fits. So I'm gonna put it back in here. Only 14 hours later, we now have the pin installed. Now time for these stupid snap ring pliers. What's these stupid snap rings? I don't know, stupid something. Make sure it's seated in there. Okay, that snap ring is definitely seated in there. Time for the other one. I should be wearing my safety glasses, not even because of the snap rings, but because of the snap ring pliers like to throw pieces at you. Alrighty friends, back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Oh, forgot the coilover. Okie dokie. Again, I'm not sure if it's supposed to fit that tight, but that's how it is. That's how it is. Ah, freaking finally, Jesus. All right, so after a billion years, our coilover is now mounted to the lower control arm. And once again, we are not putting any Loctite or anti-seize on any of these parts because we're most likely gonna be removing all of this to weld and possibly paint some of this stuff. Let me get our bushings on. I forgot the coil. Oh. All right, so we have our coil and our insulator pad. So I guess we'll install the insulator pad first. I'm gonna jack the coil into place. All right, we're getting closer, ladies and gents. So we're gonna tighten this until the bushing is the same width as the washer. That looks about good. Maybe I should have put the spindle first. All right, never mind people. We're probably not getting closer. Looks like we're working backwards. It's been a long day, all right? Sorry, couple trips to the store, couple broken snap ring pliers. You know how it goes. So I'm gonna lower this enough where I can get the spindle, spindle on there. Slip our boot back on. Please. Please just go in there. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. No need to fear. Rookie P is here. Okay, so I'm an idiot because this just goes over top like that, I believe. So let's try that. Yep. Here we go. Couple threads showing. Let's see if we can pull it up. And once again, these are also torqued down to a certain spec. I believe it is about 50. But we are not going to do that because you know why. Why is this boot so crushed? Let me put it down. Alrighty. One thing to note, if anybody happens to be doing this Mustang II IFS install, is to check everything, even if it's pre-installed, like this ball joint, because as you can see, it is completely loose. But once again, we're gonna go through everything and retorque everything and Loctite everything and anti-seize everything. But just one thing to note. All right, so next step, we got our fat boy rotor here. We got our rotor here and our included bearings. Obviously, we're gonna put the big one here, but first we gotta pack it with some grease. This grease packer makes it 10 times easier to pack these bearings with grease. You just pop it in there. I've spoke about the aviation shop or the aircraft mechanic that I used to work for, and he would use one of these, and now I will never not use one of these. You just push down like if you're doing CPR, and then as you can see, it pushed grease through all the little bearings. I'm just gonna give it one more go. Then from here we can take it out, and as you can see, it's all full of grease. So now we just give it a little extra more loving. So back to our rotor. We're gonna grab a dollop of grease and just slap it around in there. Drop our bearing, pop in the included seal. I don't have a socket this big or a seal driver, so I'm just gonna gently drive it in with a punch. I don't think that's going that well. Okay, so I found something that might be the perfect fit. This is like the inside of a speaker kind of thing, but looks like it'll perfectly drive it in there, I hope. Nope. Why is it that I'm struggling with the easiest, what's supposed to be the easiest things? I hope I didn't damage the seal, but looks like we're all the way in there. All right, so before we throw on the rotor, I'm gonna put some ooey gooey on here, just for the extra lubrication on the shaft. Time to slap on the rotorino. Come on, buddy. Seat. Come on. What's wrong? What's wrong? Please? Okay. Slammed into place, I guess. Little bearing, little mini chimney bearing. There we go. In a previous disc brake conversion video, the brake rotor did the same thing where it slammed into place. And somebody said, hopefully the race is okay after it slammed in like that. And if you were wondering, whoever asked that, it was okay. So we're gonna torque this bearing nut down to about 25 foot-pounds. Then we're gonna back it off. Click, half a turn, and then we're gonna torque it again. We'll say 15 foot-pounds. All right. That's just enough room for us to slip in our cotter pin. So passenger side suspension is now installed. It looks so good. It just makes me that much more excited to actually drive this thing. Before we can slap some tires on it and put it on its own weight, we have to do the other side. But while we do that, let's talk about the giveaway. We've teamed up with Odelphi headlamps in order to get you guys in on this sweet product. I've been using this headlamp for a couple months now and I do really love it. So that's why with the code ROOKIEPILOT you could get yourself 10% off of a flashlight that's already inexpensive. But Angel, I thought you said something about a giveaway. Yes, I will be giving one away to one lucky subscriber. In order to enter the giveaway, you have to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what your dream car is. That will get you one entry, but if you're subscribed to my Patreon, any tier will get you 5 extra entries on this giveaway. Now enjoy the rest of this montage. Hello, this is the 302 that we're slapping in number 3, by the way. All right, ladies and gents, it is time to throw some tires on this car and have it hold its own weight. There's a possibility my welds will fail and everything will just slam to the ground. I'm just kidding, I hope not. By the way, the wheels that I'm about to put on there are not the permanent wheels for this build. I wouldn't even call them wheels, but I'll just let you guys see. Oh, fuck. I've made a mistake. So the only wheels I have with the lug pattern that matches what we just installed is these spares, but this hole is a lot smaller than this hole, so the wheel won't even go on, as I will demonstrate now. So like I said, it is the same lug pattern, but it won't even go in because I'm stupid. I'm so pissed, I didn't even think of that. It was, and I don't have any other wheels with that lug pattern right now, so I can't even test the damn suspension we just installed. What if I just drop it on the rotors? I don't even know what to say. I mean, it would have been pretty disappointing anyway to see it wearing those spare tires, but I mean, at least we could have seen the suspension in action. So it looks like we're not gonna be testing anything out on number 3 today, but make no mistake, I will be searching for some new wheels and tires so we can actually test it. If there's anybody that wants to sponsor some wheels and tires, let me know. Here I was thinking that we're just not gonna be able to test the suspension on the car, but we're not even gonna be able to test the fitment because we can't get the tire on there. And on that disappointing note, thank you for everybody that watched this video. I apologize for the tragic ending. Also, we will be attending SEMA 2023, so we should have some pretty exciting content before the end of this year. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.